5 now. Okay. All right, hold on. All right, we're ready.
Are we ready? Rolling? When you're ready.
Sorry for the delay.
It's okay.
But I'm right back into character.
Okay,
and
thank you,
God
Ted.
bless Oscar's new home in Georgetown.
And God bless your character.
Oh,
Thank you so
much. We haven't
much.
closed yet, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's oh, you haven't closed yet. You know what I always say?
What?
ABC.
What does that mean?
Always be closing. That's right. That wasn't a joke. That was another quote from a movie.
But you got that one right.
Yeah.
Donald,
Yes.
stupidity is a crime, so you're free to go. I'm sorry, stupidity.
It's not a crime.
It's not a crime.
Oh, and you were going. You
I
did so
blew that.
well by quoting the Glengarry Glen Ross. And then
God bless the writers that I'm screwing up right now.
maybe what you need are bigger cue cards like Bob Hope.
I'm sharp as a bowling ball, aren't I? Yes, sir. I'd like to see things. Wait, no, now it's repeating itself. All right, the bit is dying right now.
Well, I'm glad that you came
sorry.
in with all this tough stuff because actually, this is really cool. Waiting right outside to talk to you is Donald Trump.
Well, hold on a second. I'm not ready to end the bit yet, Rob. I know you are. I know you want to stampede out of it, but
Yeah.
Well, you just
I've
said
never-
it was over.
Lay off
No,
the
it's-
Grandpa
You
Munster.
did just say it was over.
I know I said I was over. Well, I see the fuck-up fairy has visited us again. Yeah, fantastic. Always great. It was going so well until the FedEx man came by. Anyway. I'll just keep talking, and someday maybe I'll say something
You're
intelligent.
never going to run out of jokes.
No, you never will.
Yeah. All right, last joke for Donald. You ready? Let me
Yes.
just get it out of my satchel here.
His closer, if you will.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right, and now we're going to really go to the opening of the show after this, Rob, okay?
Okay, very good.
Very good. Donald, I love what you've done with your hair. How did you get it to come out of the nostrils like that?
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
I shall pass through this world but once. Any good, therefore, that I can do, or any kindness that I can show to any human being, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again.
Would you welcome Gary Shannon?
But you never get over that uneasiness in a new relationship. We went out, we go to dinner, and have you guys ever accidentally ordered from the child's portion of the menu? Because it's not, where it says under 12, and it's not always clearly separated, and the waitress comes over, and I go, yeah, she'll have the lobster Newburg, and I'll have Captain Andy's toddler platter, please. Oh, and I'm going, gee, I didn't see that. Well, do any of these others come with the sailor hats? And then I had read that women like the little boy quality in a man, so I'm chewing up my food and going, I'm sitting on a booster chair thinking, I'm going to score. And then I realized I was shouting that out, and so I get her home, right? Lower the lights. I put on We Are the World, figuring this would put her in the giving mood. All she got was hungry, which does me no good whatsoever. So now, I'm on the couch, and a friend of mine said, try oysters. You know about these? These are supposed to be very stimulating sexually. I tried those, boy, but the shells scratched so bad. I don't know. Am I putting them on too soon? What's the deal? I'm starting to yell, we got a pearl. And I'm not kinky sexually whatsoever. Occasionally, I like to put on a robe, and stand in front of a tennis ball machine, but we all have our own thing. Take a few fast ones, have a cigarette, but we all have our own thing. So we're spawning, and it's not a pretty story, and she's talking in bed, which is normally a turn on. But she's talking to the point where I had to say, hey, hang up the phone, and pay a little attention to me, 'cause, I'm trying to concentrate, hoping she's using a credit card, God knows, and we spawned. It's going great. We're spawning, and I don't. It's awkward because the last girl I made love to, I said, "Was it good for you?" She said, "I don't think this is good for anybody."
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his office chair, here's Mike.
We are coming to you live from the Cappy Pfeiffer studio in the heart of our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. This is the Mike O'Mara Show, on the air and online worldwide. The Mike O'Mara Show, a daily radio show and podcast with the greatest listeners on the planet because they get it. And if you're here, you do too. Our show today brought to you by ZipRecruiter.com. Let's face facts. Your company is only as good as the people you hire, but hiring the best people isn't easy. And you can bet there are other companies out there trying to get them first. You need an edge. You need ZipRecruiter.com. Trust me, one single job posting ain't going to cut it. You're not going to be able to do that. You don't have time to mess around with all of that. ZipRecruiter is there for you. You can post to over 100 job sites. You can do it with a single click, and you'll be instantly matched to the best candidates from over 6 million resumes. 6 million. One post, and within 24 hours, watch your candidates appear. They've got a really easy-to-use interface, a very easy interface that you can use to get the best candidate for you. ZipRecruiter clients say, this is taking the pain out of the process, and you're going to love it. ZipRecruiter has been used by over 400,000 businesses. You can try it right now. Do it absolutely free. Get the right people for your company. It's very, very important. As you know, try ZipRecruiter right now and get your perfect candidate before they go to somebody else. You can try ZipRecruiter today. It's absolutely free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/TMOS and get started. Try it for free right now at ZipRecruiter.com/TMOS. Welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show. Did anyone hear me scream when Rob started the Gary Shandling thing about I don't want any more death? You didn't hear that, did you?
No. We saw you react.
You're smart enough to turn me down when that happens, right?
I saw you react, and I knew that if there had been a real crisis, you would have texted. So
well,
I
I wanted to talk about Gary Shandling. I silly me. I was wondering why you were anxious to get to it. I understand that. That's
that's my traditional thing. Is that
if he kills someone
when someone passes?
Yeah, what's that?
If he kills someone, he owns it.
But when they pass, it's a chance to play the Jerry Lewis tape and play some of their finest work.
I know. I understand. I was just, I was wondering why you were in a hurry, and that's now I know. Now I understand what it is.
Was not in a hurry, Mike.
You weren't in a hurry, but it was
Shandling tapes.
You like that. That's what you like.
I do like it. I do.
You like the we will pass to this world, and then getting right to that. And Gary Shandling is, as far as we're concerned on this show, an A-list guy. So your instincts are correct on that. And I'm not going to, pretend. But I was equally excited to come in and do the Ted Cruz fighting with Donald Trump.
I love Ted Cruz.
And I wonder sometimes, every now and then, I just wonder, you're kind of my wingman on that. Oscar helps out, but when we do those things, you're my wingman. And sometimes I think, I wonder, why was he anxious? And then he didn't know to get the rim shot when I cued him on that. And it's because I think you prioritize Shandling over.
I did not at all.
You actually sacrificed the open of the show for your opening montage.
I really love to watch this sort of create and happen and have reality invented in front of my very face when none of this is true.
I hate to give you a hard time, Rob, but I
know you do, Mike.
I
know it's your least favorite thing in the world.
To clarify,
here's
you
the
put the cart before the horse.
We don't use carts anymore.
Rob, you will testify that more often than not, in a very rare circumstance, you and I will communicate well in advance of doing it. But normally, I'll throw you the opening vignette, or we'll come up. I'll make the determination early, or you'll have an idea that you'll
Abbott and Costello.
Seconds before we hit, they said we're going to do it this. Let's do it this. Bada like that. And sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes I just think that. Now I should say that I blew it myself because we were on a nice little roll, and then the running FedEx man arrived, and when I see him, they run to the door and run away, and I didn't want to deal with a situation today where the guy would run away and it would be some document that was very important. He held a document in his hand, and I realized what it was, and it was so not important after the facts of the last 24 hours, which Oscar might not even be aware of. But the fact is that was so I'm rambling here. But
no.
Gary Shandling.
My apologies if it seemed rushed. It was not my intention.
Well, that's all right. You know what?
Too soon, Gary Shandling.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure whether I think my mom is necessarily running over to greet him. I don't think she tracked with Gary Shandling, so I can't say anything like that. But the fact is, during the day of the Don and Mike show, and when it was the Larry Sanders Show, which really is where Gary Shandling made his mark.
HBO.
That was, and did you play, what was that, a monologue from The Tonight Show?
That was one of his earliest pieces, and the reason I chose it, that's the joke that it closed with when he says, "Is this good for you? I don't think this is good for anybody." That is the first joke that I remember really resonating with me that he told. That's from like about 1981, right?
Here's something about Gary Shandling that I didn't realize until they said it. You know, you realize that the Larry Sanders Show was a precursor to shows like The Office.
Oh, yeah.
1,000%.
And, you know,
it's literally The Office with a television talk show.
When I was a kid, I didn't understand it because I was too young to process.
Right.
But my older brother did, and he would sit down and explain what was going on. I said, "This is wild."
Yeah, you know, he had...
It was amazing.
The show
really
didn't even have to be as good as it was because of the gimmick of the mixture of videotape when it was the show and film when it was behind the scenes. That was such a brilliant thought and such a great
separated
use.
the worlds.
Yeah, it really did. It was a brilliant use of technology that no one had come up with before. And based on that, it was a classic show. But then 5 seasons of perfect writing, how can you miss?
So cool.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, you know, and take my beautiful 95-year-old mother out of the equation. This 2016, I don't remember a year.
It's
of,
horrible.
You know, A-list, B-list, C-list, but I don't remember a year of celebrity passings like this ever. I don't remember it ever like this.
I was thinking about it, and I think the reason is that, pardon me, I'm sorry, is that we are now getting to an age where television people that got their start at the beginning of television that we grew up with, now they're in their 70s and 80s. And there were more and more stars. There used to be not as many stars because there weren't as many outlets for people to be famous. There was motion pictures and radio to a certain extent. But then TV...
When are you going to let those go?
I've already let them go. But as TV made more and more people in our forefront and we became more... And they're getting older, and I think it's not so much that there's more celebrity death. I think it's just
a sheer volume.
I think it's
of notoriety.
I think it's a percentage.
Maybe it's true. Maybe that's absolutely true.
The fame game used to be centralized to a handful of people, as Rob said.
Yeah,
now because there were fewer big stars.
And you've heard of everybody. Everyone's famous for 15 minutes.
Yeah. So I mean, Larry Sanders was. It seemed like for 2-3 years was the go-to. I mean, where it was the. I mean, for God's sakes, Don called my restaurant Hank's Look Around Cafe, which I hated more than anything.
You hated that?
Oh, did I hate that?
I thought it was the only idea.
No, it was the only way to
promote the
he
restaurant.
Wanted to talk about it, and you know, it was just I wanted it to be promoted the way it would be on the sign that's in front of the restaurant.
Right.
To be honest with you, but that wouldn't have been funny, and I understand that. That's the way that goes down. But that's what it was called, and it's like people, you know, it became the Look Around Cafe. I probably should have just named it Mike's Look Around Cafe.
But you didn't have a spinning
but
floor.
I would have had to call it Hank's Look Around Cafe.
That would have been hilarious.
I do believe it was
changed the name.
Hank's Look Around Cafe. Might have
just
saved
for the
it
last week.
Might have saved it if I did that. You know,
it preceded The Sopranos. It was probably the show, the series television that put HBO on the map as a destination for series television, and really it made cable more viable because it was so strong.
I think it's great, and Gary Shandling is the thing. But I'm going to tell you, Rob, you are 45 years old, and you are. I got you by over 10 years, 11 years. I've got you by 11 years, and I'm going to warn you of something because you're starting already. You have always been fascinated with celebrity passings.
Yes.
You are now becoming obsessed with it because you're getting older, and it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. So you have to Barney Fife it right now.
Zip
or
it,
it's
nip
gonna,
it.
It's good. You're going. I'm not saying that you don't do something you enjoy. I can't tell you to stop doing that. But you are it within nanoseconds now. It is the full. Every celebrity passing is your celebrity passing. Ken Howard. You know. I mean, I'll accept Gary Shandling, but did you really have to dive in with the? With the full post for Ken Howard, did he really mean that much to you? Gary
His role
Shandling,
as Jefferson. His role as Jefferson was a big one for me. That's what I mean because I love 1776.
Who the hell is Ken Howard?
Oscar, don't get involved. Stay out of this one.
The White Shadow.
That's right.
He's the White Shadow.
Which would be a good nickname for Oscar.
The White
Right.
Shadow.
I'm
Who's
just
that?
kidding. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
it's a
It was
television show.
in about 1980. It was a television show
Ken
about
Howard.
Ken. No, Mike, that's Dave Howard.
Was he a
Dave
superhero?
Still with us? No, he was at. I believe the plot was an NBA player goes to an inner city high school to coach basketball, and there was a player on
Sure,
the
that
team
would get green-lighted these days.
named Salami.
sensitive.
Yeah,
Hey, a different world. All in the Family wouldn't be green lighted today.
it's true. It's very
All
true.
in the Family would not be green lighted today in the era of political correctness. And, as somebody who believes with all of his soul that people that talk about political correctness, use it to, get away with their horrible, deep, dark thoughts, in the world of comedy, I believe it has caused detrimental effects. It truly has. I believe that with all my soul. We got to take a break. When we come back, I also want to talk about the media. And I really do believe ISIS's partner now, because death, speaking of death, it's an industry now. It's the formula. And, I want to bitch about it, because that's what I bitch about. We'll take a break, and we'll come back with more on the Mike O'Mara Show. Whoa, Gary Shannon.
It's Tony and Gary.
Hey there, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tony Perkins.
And I'm Cousin Bruce Morrow.
Oh, Cousin Brucey. Well, you know what? On tomorrow's episode of the show, we don't have Cousin Brucey, but we've got one of the greatest DJs of all time. Surf is here.
He's as big.
Did you say his is big?
No, I wouldn't know if his is big.
Well, it probably is. He's going to tell us about his days in radio. Plus, Gary gets emasculated. It's on this episode of the Tony Perkins Show, TonyPerkinsShow.com. Subscribe on iTunes and download the brand new Tony Perkins Show app.
Buy a T-shirt.
The Tony Perkins Show.
Great. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Sleep Number Beds. We all try to live as healthy as we can, but consider this. Getting quality sleep is just as important to a healthy lifestyle as a balanced diet and regular exercise. Did you know that? Well, it's true. I'll give you an example of my little thing with the Sleep Number. I was sitting in a chair about 3 weeks ago, threw my back out, had terrible back pain, and tweaked my back so badly that the only thing, this is just me, you could be different, but I got to say, Sleep Number gets props when they deserve it, and I tweaked my setting on my Sleep Number bed. I actually made it softer, and then I made it firmer, and I adjust it now every night, and I know how to do that because Sleep IQ tells me how to adjust to get the great night's sleep, but I also adjust it to my level of back discomfort, and lo and behold, it works. I wake up in the morning feeling better than I did when I went to bed at night. That is a Sleep Number bed. That is Mike O'Mara. That is a fact. That is how it works. If you have lower back pain, middle back pain, upper back pain, neck pain, please, please, please go to the Sleep Number store and get yourself a Sleep Number bed, because that will help you immeasurably. I promise you that. Right now, my Sleep Number is an 85. Carla's is a 65. And last night, my Sleep IQ score was 95, and I feel great. Shape the best sleep of your life with the Sleep Number mattress and Sleep IQ technology, starting at only $1,099.98. No better sleep with the Sleep Number bed. Find your Sleep Number setting only at Sleep Number stores. Find one near you by calling 800-511-0061. Don't forget to slide to the left and slide to the right. And tell them all that Mike O'Mara sent you. I really mean that. I love that client.
How was the baseball game yesterday?
Yeah.
Problematic. It's funny,
no.
I didn't put that on my show prep, but I'll answer that question because you know what? Since you brought it up, okay. We know that I have to accept. Know thyself, Mr. O'Mara has been going through it over the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the way it went down. I have gotten amazing support from my bride. I have gotten total support. 2 days ago, she informed me that there is a bill that may be due and that she's feeling a little tense in advance of it.
Okay.
And I'm talking about that time. Okay. Do I need to give any more detail on
it's
that?
a
I don't
monthly
think I
bill,
do.
Mike.
So yesterday she's a little tense. And when the tension comes, as I think you guys will testify to this, when I'm tense with you guys, sometimes communication with me gets a little screwed up.
Every day.
Stop it. Not every day, a-hole. It's not every day.
What I was
going
to say, Mike, should you ever become tense, we would let you know how it affects communication. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
We tape in the morning, and on Thursdays, more often than not, we tape too, because that's when we do our bonus show. And and that means that we're going to get out of here anywhere between, say, noon and 1 o'clock. That's usually
Fair.
the way
Right.
it works. And so I tell Mrs. O'Mara that we're going to do a quick turnaround, and that I'm hoping by 12:30 that will be set to go, and that I told the people at Michael's preschool that Mama will be in early at noon to pick him up for the day, and then she will come back, pick me up, and we will go to the game.
Right.
That was the game plan.
So
And
that
we
was the game plan.
hot-footed it here. We did a fast turnaround. We started
hot-footed
right
it.
on time.
We hot-footed it. What time did we wrap at about 12:30?
It was a 7-minute gap between shows. We were
Yeah,
prepared.
we were
7
really
minute
ready
gap
to go.
between- and we wrap it at 12:30. And I'm focused on the show. We have a great bonus show. We're
Really good
into
one
it.
this week.
We really dive in. We dive into all the shows, but more often than not, when I'm doing the show, unlike my own bit that I just said the FedEx guy, I never look out the window. I don't pay attention. I'm focused on you guys. What's going on? I didn't notice that at the end of the show, where I am waiting for Mrs. O'Mara to, come back in, I figured I'd end the show, and then maybe 5 minutes later she'd be waiting out with the car with the little guy.
The final piece in the puzzle.
And as the show ends, she walks out the door and goes, "Bye-bye." She said, "Got the tickets." And I realized she hadn't even left yet. And this is after this is after she had her morning nap. Prior to the 2 shows that I was preparing. Well, Rob prepares
She's doing
a lot
that
of
nap
bonus
bit.
shows, so it's I'm preparing the full show, but I'm going
But
over
still,
a lot of different
yeah.
stuff. It's my morning.
It's not
and I
easy.
just-
They don't respect it, but it's
They
not
don't.
easy.
No,
It's true.
you're gonna get in trouble. So.
Oh, it just tripped.
It's the
There it is.
truth.
Misogyny alarm. Misogyny alarm. That's the way it works with the
You
misogyny.
don't get it because we laugh, but it's not easy.
But, I know that Mike takes all the precautions. When he's prepping a show and Carla's napping, he makes sure the pencil is extra sharp so
Yes.
it doesn't make much noise when he writes.
Yeah.
He turns
Mine's
the
his
pages
P's and Q's.
When I have my
soft.
yellow notepad.
Your
as
yellow
I'm
notepad
scratching away
that
on
says
my yellow-
ideas.
So the bottom line is, I came out and I'm pissed.
Well,
because
sure.
I was like, we're driving half an hour to where his preschool is, and then it's a half an hour back. It's 1:45.
Seventh inning stretches when you're going to arrive?
Yeah,
We're gonna get to the game we're gonna get to the game in the 5th inning. I said,
They won't even be
That's
selling beer then.
no, but the most important thing for baseball fans in spring training, they don't have the A-listers will
Yeah,
be
'cause they
done.
bench
Oh, that's
them all.
right. They bench them.
They'll be in the bus. It's not gonna, and I'm kind of doing this. And she's like, "Okay," stops the car because she's a little tense too. She stops the car, and the car is just like, "Okay, we're not going. We're not going.
Oh, you ruined it.
We're not going." And I'm like, "No, let's go. So we continue to go, and then we get out, and I'm like, and my mind is going. You know how I am. You guys have driven to games with me. You know
Oh, yeah.
how I get.
Yeah.
I want to be there. I want to. I'm ready. I'm ready to. This is the first real diversion I have had.
It's not like there are 20 other games you can go to.
This is fun, and so finally, I'm like, she said, "Well, I said, maybe you could just drop me off and then go get." And so she said, "That's what I said to you when you first came out of the studio." I said, "Well, that'll work." She's like, "Fine," and she does the U-turn, drives back, drops me off, and as soon as she drops me off, calm begins to set in because I know I'm going to be late. I'm going to get there. I got there at the end of the 1st inning. I got there for the beginning of the 2nd
Okay.
inning. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I sit in my little seat. I text her. I said, "Just a miscommunication. Sorry for all the tension.
Oh, no.
Love you. Looking forward to seeing you." No response.
Oh.
Now, your worst case scenario is that she's picking up the little guy, doing a beeline back to the house.
And packing.
And no, not packing. No. But she's not going to come to the game. So I wanted to validate. So after the 2nd inning, right after I walked in, people love that, by the way. I get up and I walk out again.
Sure.
And I walk out into the concourse and I call her, and she
Hello?
picks up. She picks up the phone, and as she picks up the phone, I get the, and he's screaming. And
Sure.
She's like, "I got your text. I love you. We'll be there shortly." I go back. Easy peasy.
Okay.
Everything was fine. But that was the answer. See, you ask me any question about anything in my life, you're always going to get an answer like that.
I like
because
that answer.
That's the way. I'm glad you like it, but it was.
Can we rewind?
it was tense.
I just want to
Yes.
ask, and this will probably help your overall communication skills and everybody that's
Yeah.
listening.
Guaranteed.
There are times where, let's say that what really, I guess, struck a chord with you that she didn't pick up Michael after you rushed to finish so you could
that
go?
I had said to the preschool that she will pick him up
okay.
at noon. I believe that in the time that we were doing this show, she was going to shower in about a half an hour. About that's frankly an hour less than she normally. She takes a long time. She looks beautiful. I understand that drill.
Right.
I thought she was going to rush it this time, go down, pick him up, and then a little before 1 o'clock, we're going to be a little late for the game, but nothing bad, and we're going to all go as a family. That's
Okay.
what I thought.
So I guess in the future, when this happens, how are you going to tackle the issue? Because it's just going to happen. There's too many games for it all to go right at one
you
time,
know what?
right?
Next year, when all this crap isn't going, if I am blessed to, get these tickets again, I will. I don't want to go so far as to say I will put out a grid, but I'm going to prepare. I'm going to prepare much better than I prepared this year. This year, I blew it in a lot of. But then again, there were unforeseen circumstances this year, so So I'm just going to do a better job of organization, and maybe that'll impact the show as well.
Did you emphasize to her that you had already made arrangements with a pickup time at the school? Because that really is,
there was no emphasizing during the time of pre-tension.
I see.
Remember that comedian that stood on the stage and held up like a New York Post and said, "This man killed by premenstrual tension." I mean, I'm not going there.
So you're walking around with a whiteboard that says, "Don't hit me," because you don't want to communicate.
Yeah, I got to be careful.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But everything worked out fine. Now, one last thing before we go to break, and I'll make this real quick. Watching the coverage today, I get back to the fact that the same drill goes on all the time when there's a terrorist attack. And look, government's never going to be able to police media, and maybe media will never do it. But the fact is, we've talked about it before. There are some times when an a-hole runs onto a field chasing a beach ball at a baseball game, they don't show it.
Right.
And you know what? It never happens anymore.
You're right.
It really never happens. You don't get the drunken fans running on the field nearly as much as used to. When they were on television, it happened all the time. I am tired of every single media outlet in the world becoming a branch of ISIS, where they show this stuff, and it is so it's doing exactly what they want.
I agree with you.
And I don't know how you fix it, because you're never going to maybe stop watching.
I have stopped watching.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you're right.
I get the initial information, and then I turn it off, because what I realize is I'm just buying into what they want.
You're part of the problem. Yeah.
Which is, I don't know how you would describe it. Would you describe it fear-mongering? Would you describe it grief-whoring? Would you describe it?
Certainly grief-whoring.
And certainly sensationalism. And sensationalism is not news.
I said to Carla today, I screamed from the other room. It was either CNN or NBC that I was watching, and I said, "Oh, they found out 2 Americans, and she's pretty. Watch out. They're going to go out of their minds. They're going to be TV trucks on her parents' lawn in 5 minutes. They're going to do that." And that is part of the deal. They're saying now, and I watched a couple of analysts last night that are saying they have focused their attention now on Western targets, because we have degraded them on their home turf, because they're a bunch of thug F-ups ultimately. So now what are they doing? Well, they're doing this because this is going to get them what they want. Mm-hmm. And I think that, as I said before, I don't know. You can't have the government march in and shut news outlets down. That's what it is. But this is a national security issue right now.
It takes the common man to change
to
the
stop
channel.
watching.
Change the channel.
You know what? This is kind of like what you've said to me before about recycling, and I recycle down here religiously now, and I think you're absolutely right. And it's not hard to do, Oscar, because when you turn it on and you see that we're going to go into the hospital right now and see the girl that's got the
when
burns
they're digging deep, and you're like, "Oh, please, come on."
But it's going to be a long process if it fixes it at all.
They stay in. Look, I turned it on.
It
as soon
will
as
fix
it happened.
If you didn't cover any of the after effects of this, you said there's been this explosion, and you took that off the magic box.
Yeah.
Because it's just like the guy running on the field, and you know that you are complicit in assisting ISIS by propagandizing these terrorist attacks.
It's like what happened in Boston.
Yep,
exactly.
It's like what happened in Boston, and when they
it's
put
repetition.
They
right?
put that guy's picture on the cover of Rolling Stone. I sit there and I say,
"Yep,
where's the line? Mm-hmm. Where is the line?"
It's 10 miles behind us, because when you put his picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone, it's like saying, "Hey, you want to be famous? Copy what this guy does."
Yeah. And it's we're in the apartment. We're in the apartment now. Now let's go see the victim. Let's do this. Yeah. And Don Henley wrote a song about it, guys. This is not new. Mm-hmm. I mean, really. I mean, it is something that. But maybe you're right. If I can do something, maybe I just boycott news viewing. I don't need it. I can get it I can go online and get the information
You get
of the
it
day.
faster on the web anyways.
Yeah, and probably more accurate.
For now, that actually kind of makes me feel good.
What had me really turn the page was I was becoming depressed and moody.
Yeah.
And my girl actually called me on it. She said, "Look, every time you watch this, you get upset. You get upset and you get moody, and it doesn't help you, doesn't help us." And I said, "You're right. You know what? That is logical and that is fact."
If I'm watching my political theater, which I love, that doesn't get me depressed. When I'm watching the coverage again and again and again, I mean, it wasn't a terrorist attack, but it was that Malaysian flight. How many months did they have?
They like invented
talking about that.
They burned out graphics packages.
Yeah.
They had to order new graphics packages.
They made skits to make it relevant again.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what? I will try. No guarantees.
All right.
I will try to tear myself away from that.
Focus on the 9 o'clock hour of the Today Show where they do the fun stuff.
Are you ready for
stuff?
When we come back, are you ready for a little good news?
Yes, finally.
Okay. Would you like to know? I've talked about it in the negative. Now it's going to be positive because the new air conditioner's here. Oh, my God. It's amazing. We'll take a break. Come back with more on the Mike O'Mara Show.
So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Betterment. During these times, everybody has to think about managing their finances and how they can make their life better. And I think it's pretty obvious to a lot of us that when it comes to the working stiffs of the world, of which we consider ourselves three, that managing money and saving for retirement, you're on your own out there. You're truly on your own. And I'm here to tell you about Betterment. Their mission is to help people manage and grow their wealth. Betterment has developed a smarter technology that automates investing. It helps with better financial decisions, invests for your personal goals, and provides peace of mind. With Betterment, you get investing advice through smart technology from real people to help with account support. Betterment will help secure your financial future and make sure that you and your family are set up for success, and it's never too late to start investing. Never too late to take control of your financial future. This is the streamlined approach to investing, and you got to get involved with it. It's automated. It's less expensive. It's easy to use. The future is here. You can get up to 6 months of automated investing for free, and more information also when you go to betterment.com/TMOS. Again, that's BETTERMENT.com/TMOS. Betterment is investing made better.
Better, baby, better.
You know, I mentioned, I think, a couple of weeks ago on the show that the 24-year-old air conditioning system that was installed down here in South Florida had given up the ghost. And I was stunned at how expensive it was. Listeners helped out.
Cool.
I appreciate the HVAC community
What
that listens
does
to
one
the
go for these days?
A lot.
Like
there's
more than $10,000?
No. In my case, no. I will tell you no.
But there's
if
also
I
a large
mention
range, isn't there? I mean, you
Yes.
can go cheap or very
But
expensive.
he's fishing for the cost. If I give him the cost, you know what's going to happen?
What?
People are going to send me messages telling me I paid too much.
No,
and I
I'm
don't
asking
want to
Mike
do that.
because my new home that I'm working on
Yes.
closing on doesn't have HVAC.
Oh, you know what? You're going to be looking at a whole new host of expenses based on whatever sort of venting you have. You might not even be able to install AC.
Yeah, you might not be able to. Do you have wall units? Is that how you cool your place now? Is
There's
that what it is?
window units.
Window units. Yeah,
that
wall
can't be
window,
put on the
window
front
units.
of the house because of the historical society, but on the back, do all you want.
Oh, by
But
the way, my
thing about
father
it also. wait, I was gonna say this, that you can use that stuff we used in the House of Manassas.
Yeah,
That
but I don't know how much all that
ductless
costs.
air.
Mike,
Well,
I'm new to the game.
It's probably expensive, but I mean, it's ductless. They have that now, which I think they use that in old
It
homes.
worked
What were
really
you gonna
well
say,
in your
Rob?
studio. I remember that.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
my father
absolutely.
had a message for you. He said,
Yes.
congratulations on the house. He guarantees it's haunted.
1840?
Yeah.
No chance.
No. Even the ghosts are dead.
I think you're going to be...
What type of system? Is it just a big carrier
right.
in the backyard? What are we talking about?
The guy came out, and the first guy hardly got out of his truck and was telling me I needed a new one. I talked about that on the
Right.
show. I talked about how it gave up. But the fact is that the unit was 24 years old.
And how many
And
months
it's
of the
South
year
Florida.
do you run it in Florida?
12 months out of the year. I mean, you don't go away and not run it.
You
know
go
what I mean?
away.
I go away, but you don't.
But I mean, like
you
in
got to keep your system on, or you're going to have a
in the dead of
melted
winter
house.
In the dead of winter, it can be like 60-ish down there, right? So you don't need AC then.
Wait, you air
periodically.
condition? You air condition your home when you're not there?
Oh yeah, not the same way I do when I'm here, but the fact, you turn it up, but you still have to get.
If he doesn't, the wax
hot,
figures melt.
You can't have hot. No, you have all sorts of things. You have you have stuff that just goes, get
what goes
drywall,
bad? The fridge,
wurniture. You got the.
Because it's a humidity issue.
It's more of a humidity issue.
We wouldn't know that.
No, because it's not as bad up here, and also in the long run, it's actually cheaper to keep your AC at like 82 than to let your house get really hot and then cool it all the way down again.
My parents were so cheap; they would turn everything off until it had to come on. It had to absolutely come on. Like
everybody's in their shirt, their shorts.
I was at my mom's, and I said, "Mom, I'm wearing a jacket inside. What's wrong with this picture?" And she says, "It's not that bad. There's some of your old sweaters upstairs."
Right. Meanwhile, he's warming his hands over a candle.
Well, I'm here to say that this unit that they installed is not the best. It's not the worst. It's in the middle. It's in the middle of the pack. The guy sold me on it, and I will tell you that at my age, certain things that probably would not have mattered when I was a younger man, I'll be honest, I was looking forward to the day that they were going to arrive and put it in because I had heard, but I was not nearly as excited as when they finished, because when they finished, it changed the way this house felt, and it really, really did. It changed,
really?
Because the machine that was there was one of these machines that would kick on. You'd know it because you'd hear it. It would go, and then the cold air would
favorite sounds.
Yeah, this wave of cold air would come on, but it would be cold, and it was constant. We were, in the middle of the night, we would be freezing our asses off because it wasn't really regulated that way.
When we would hear that sound, and mind you, it's just because my parents didn't grow up with any type of HVAC, so they don't really know to care for some of these luxuries.
Right.
But my brother and I knew from going to friends' houses that this is actually possible. You can cool a house.
Papa, there is a way to make the house so we no longer sweat.
You would sweat like I did when I was a boy.
When it was cool, when it would come on, my brother and I used to run to the vent because we were so excited.
Oh my
God.
And I kid you not.
That is in a way that is so sad to see you running over to the vent.
I have my Oshkosh bagosh on.
Jose, the air has come on. We must run over to the vent to cool our bodies. Feel that American cold air coming.
And we'd hold each other's
vent.
hands. And remember how great it was.
It's like the Frankenstein monster trying to grab music out of the air. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, because he would never turn it on.
Oh, Jose, my bedsheet is sticking to my back because of my sweat. But the air just came on. Run over to it, Jose. Oscar, stay out of the way. I want to get the cool air coming on me. Anyway.
He wouldn't fight over it.
Hold our hands.
But he wouldn't turn on unless it was like a code red outside.
It is. I didn't give it a second thought. All I knew it was expensive. I couldn't afford the expense, and I had to go to the well. Thanks to 0% financing. Real happy about
I like that.
But the fact is, when they install it and they get done, and I was still cool with it.
So to speak.
They get it. They pulled the interior unit. It was
Donald, that air conditioner.
Hey,
And
God bless that air conditioner.
Now, on to the Gary Shandling death reel.
But anyway, so they took the unit out. We had it actually in the garage, hanging from the ceiling, which is a weird place.
The actual exterior unit?
Yes, yeah. Apparently, there may have been some old code requirement back when this house was
built. Where did the condenser drain to? If it was hanging
to the walkway up to my house.
Okay, all right, I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
To the walkway up to my house on a little gravel walkway that they had there. So they took that out. So it freed up this space, and they put it up in the attic over the garage. And they said there's tons of room up there.
Perfect.
Code was the reason. I think
right.
That's it. But I never got a real straight answer. And they sealed up the little vents where it was in the old days. But that's not the good part. Okay, the good part is when they put the space age brand new controller on the wall, and I realized when you get something after 24 years, It truly is special. And this thing, I was suddenly like a little bitty kid saying, "Isn't this great?"
The one that it replaced, was it
This is
old
the
enough
best
that
air
it was
conditioner ever.
Was it perfect?
Perfect. It's perfect.
Was it an old enough controller that it had a round dial, or was it a slide
The
on the
first
bottom?
one did. I replaced the
Ooh,
thermostat.
Those round ones are old,
about
man.
2 years ago. So I
Okay.
had the modern one. But this is not. This is the touch screen, baby. This is the floating temperature, and let me tell you what it does.
Yes.
Okay? And I know I'm going to sound like such a little rube right here. But the fact is, yes, smart technology. I can be anywhere. And I can be away from the home, controlling the temperature of my home.
It's the
easily.
Internet of Things.
It is.
I will know from when I'm away, I will know exactly what the temperature is outside, and I will know exactly what the temperature is inside. When I go to my little touch screen, I hit a button and it shows me the weather for the day. And what the weather is going to be. And also on the touch screen, it has radar.
What?
Radar for outside of my
Doppler
home.
radar?
Yeah, well, I don't know where it comes from.
You know,
it's
Mike-
just a computer program. But the fact is, isn't this
Something
great?
just occurred to me that may not have occurred to you, that this is going to be a game changer. If when you are doing your time in Maine this summer and you have renters, you can, at night, turn the air conditioning up to 85 and save yourself some money.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see
that's
yourself
true.
sitting on the porch up there with a cigar?
Lock 'em out.
Yeah, changing the weather. Changing the weather. He has the ability to control the weather.
Still happy about complaining about that too small refrigerator, tenants? There we go. But no, anyway, it's
remember that
really.
bit. Yeah.
I was at, but the thing is, when we're doing the show, I have to turn all the bells and whistles off so that we can do a show.
Is
for
it
you. That's
easy
the way
enough to
that
do,
works.
though?
It is. It's super easy to do, and it's great, and it's great, and it's great. The thing about, and then the air, where the old unit used to, let me see if I can describe this with sound.
Okay.
The old unit used to come in like,
Jose, quick.
run to the vent.
Hold
Run
my
to the
hand.
vent, Jose. Run to the vent. Now it comes on like this.
Oh, like a B-2 bomber.
It just
Like opening the nozzle in a
yeah.
plane.
Yeah.
It slowly ramps up. It slowly ramps up. And the outside unit
Yeah.
is like twice as big. I couldn't believe it was bigger. You know, they didn't make
Wow.
it smaller. They made it bigger. So it's not that type of unit. You would think, right, with modern technology, that the sizes of these things would get smaller. No, not in the air conditioning biz. It actually is a larger unit, and it's kind of like having the V8 engine for the car.
Sure.
Where you don't have to push the car that hard. It's fantastic.
No, the weird, I've not thought about ever mounting an air conditioning unit in an attic. Is it longer, or is it still like a
taller.
trash can size?
It's
I mean, not
taller.
like the size of a trash can, but like, is it a cylinder?
It's sort of a square.
Okay, all right.
Well, rounded square. you
It's
know,
so
and
good,
It's got
you know-
round edges.
Did they need a little hand crank or crane to get it up there, or was it a couple guys?
Well,
get it up
speaking of
there?
crane, it rhymes with crane.
Oh.
the product that
Nothing
I have,
runs like
okay?
it, Mike.
Yeah, there you go.
Bane?
Well, I wasn't going to go. We weren't going to go with Carrier. What with those jobs going overseas and all.
Yes, here, Mike.
You know,
Mike,
make America
is it,
great
is
again.
it Bane, and does he rule air conditioning?
That was the guy that actually sold me the unit.
No kidding.
I think. Oh, I just poured water all over.
Oh, cat's out of the bag about how you do the bit.
Poor man. You poor man.
Oh, God.
Anything for comedy, Mike.
Yeah.
I believe you have a deficiency in your cooling unit. Yes, sir. If you keep this current unit outside your home, you will have sweaty doodads. Hobble doogie.
Oh, it's grease paint.
It's always grease paint. It always ends up being grease paint. So, and then the best part is that this was right after I'd gotten back from Boston, and I channeled the spirit of my late mom and said, I'm in a crappy state of mind right now, and I'm going to handle people the way she handled people. And I don't know whether it's because of that or what, but I had this great relationship with 3 of the guys that worked their ass off and put this thing in, and wonderful conversations. And they had a couple of glitches like you always have with these things.
Miscues, yeah.
But by and large, at the end of the day, I greeted him with a smile. I said goodbye to him with a smile. It was one of those seamless little things. And to be honest with you, that's what I'm taking away from her, because really, ultimately, it works better. I found this to be the case with people down here. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing, Oscar? Why? You're saying it's not going to last.
You just got in a fight with your wife yesterday.
Well, and I got in a fight with Rob last night, too. So, yeah, I yelled at Rob last night. No! Yeah, but I wasn't really yelling at Rob. I was yelling to Rob about other things.
You were mad at the
other
dirt.
People.
You were mad at the dirt. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
The dirt, but we got it all.
Couldn't find
a
drink fast enough. But
that's what it was. But I'm going to try. That's all I can tell you.
That's
I'm gonna
all we can ask, Mike.
I'm going to try a little harder, and it just was. And so the last part of this that I will leave you with,
the button on the story.
Funny you mentioned the little skirmish we had with Mrs. O'Mara. She does not share my enthusiasm for the new product.
Why?
She likes it. She's happy with the temperature. But I'm saying things like, I wake up in the morning I said, this is the first morning it's been a little cooler. I said, do you want to know why? It's not the temperature, Carla. It's the fact that more humidity has been taken out of the house, making it feel a little chillier.
Healthier.
The thermostat is actually set to 74, and feel how it feels in this house. And I look at her, and it's like, crickets. That's all I get. I have crickets,
as
but they're not
Michael
hooked up.
gets older, you'll be able to share that with him.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. It was
It's gadgetry.
Gadgets.
Gadgetry is great. So
I'm
good.
very, very happy, and thank you very much to the company that did that. I would give them a plug, but they gave me no discount. Thank you very much.
Will you entertain a question before we go to break?
Yes.
What is our next segment? Because we did not determine that before we started the show. As to who it would be, either you
that's
or
right.
Oscar.
Oscar, I wrote a news. Did you write a news?
You should
too?
do your news.
Okay, you want to do my news?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Unless you
want to
hear about Ariana Grande one more time.
Hey, could you email
I don't.
Oscar?
What's that?
Could you email Oscar your news and he could do your news?
Let's take a break, Rob. Thank you. Take a break right now. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. We'll take a little break. Come back with news you may not need on the Mike O'Mara Show. Sorry, Mr. O'Mara did not realize what the schedule was today. We'll take a break and be right back on the Mike O'Mara Show.
This week on the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show.
Uber, the people that drive you around, have a new app that launched on Tuesday this week called Uber Eats.
Ooh.
And
I think I've heard about this. This is good.
I happen to have downloaded the app. Let's see if they can get us food before the end of the bonus show.
Whoa. If you don't mind, let me see her. If you don't mind, and I'll find something that I know we will all love.
How about the palm? Well, Rob said he was paying for it.
Oh, look, you can rate this from most expensive to inexpensive.
Oh, that's
Okay, let's take a look at that. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
all right.
Let's do it that way. He's beginning
Enjoy.
to drum. He's beginning to drum. I see.
The Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Because 5 hours a week just ain't enough. Always available at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Want to find out how the great Uber Eats experiment turns out? You got to listen to the bonus show this week.
It was a great one this week.
You're going to love it. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Vistaprint. Hey, small business owners, using Vistaprint is like having a best friend. They offer everything for your home and office: postcards, flyers, banners, apparel, invitations, and the best business cards in the biz. The best deal in the biz as well, bar none. Right now, you can get 500 business cards, $9.99 when you enter promo code TMOS. Vistaprint cards make it easy and affordable to make a dazzling first impression. And I love the fact that you have sent me your business cards. Keep them coming. We love that. They're totally customizable front and back. You can get upgrades. You can get nice stock, fancy finish, raised print. Use a Vista template. A Vistaplate template, and your own logo. You can do either. You can make a combination of both. You can do whatever you want. It's Vistaprint. Great quality, easy to customize. Your satisfaction absolutely guaranteed. If you're not 100% happy, Vistaprint will make it right. We all use Vistaprint cards. We love them. And with that deal, a 50% savings with the best 500 business cards for $9.99. Remember, TMOS. Go to Vistaprint.com and order yours today. And I will be honest with you, you're going to love it.
News.
Boo. Paul McCartney, Rob. We're leading with Paul McCartney.
Yay.
Oh, no.
He has filmed a scene for the next movie, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Oh, Paul, don't
You
do
agree?
that.
I thought even you
Don't
might not
do
be
that.
thrilled with this.
That's not right.
No word yet on who he'll play, but it sounds like it's going to be a pretty brief appearance. In addition to Johnny Depp, Jeffrey Rush, and Orlando Bloom, they are all returning, while Javier Bardem is playing the villain. So I thought
they
I'd
really
lead
should have
with Paul
cast
McCartney.
his ex-wife, because she could have done the peg.
Oh, now that's not. Play the alarm for yourself. I don't know why, but I'm going to put that under the misogyny thing.
How dare you?
Disgusting.
It's
You
just
should
a
be
stocking stuffer.
ashamed of
That's all.
yourself. Instead of a traditional burial, James Brown. This is all speculation. I'm not sure whether this is 100% true.
Yes.
James Brown was mummified following his death in 2006.
Wow.
And apparently he is still above ground.
James Brown.
That is according to...
I don't get a chance to play his jingle very much. So
That almost makes up for Gary Shandling. According to the Godfather of Soul's former chauffeur, he's been dead since 2006, but he still hasn't been buried. This is according to the chauffeur.
wow,
There's
you know,
your
I've
source.
seen. I remember there was a big thing when he died that I knew he was above ground for at least a couple months, and I remember seeing the body months after he died. And
Right.
I don't like dead bodies; they really flip me out. Like
Right.
open casket funerals really are bad for me. But he just looked like he had already been through the ringer then, so
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
He looked like a California raisin.
He did.
James Brown.
I saw him in real life.
Oh my God! Well, this apparently he's at his daughter's house. That's according to the chauffeur.
I hope she has a good air conditioner, Mike.
Chauffeur's name is William Morrell.
Yes.
He told a newspaper that they mummonized him.
Mummified.
It says mummonized. That's the way the guy says it.
Okay.
So he would never rot at a cost of $140,000. He said, why? Well, when you got almost 20 kids and 6 wives, it's hard to get you in the ground. That's the chauffeur. I don't know whether it's BS or not.
Wow.
And Brown was only actually married 3 times, had 9 children.
Oh,
And,
okay.
And
we're still singing his praises.
James Brown.
In 2010, one of his reported love children, LaRonda Pettit, said that Brown's body had been stolen from a crypt so that an autopsy could not be done. A funeral director and one of the singer's other offspring, Deanna Brown Thomas, denied Pettit's claims. So we'll all have to just keep that on our radar and see what happens with James Brown.
Maybe they can make another movie about him and call it "He Won't Get On Up."
Absolutely. Pony Boy, I got news for you.
Matthew Bloom.
There's a brand new dating site for you. Love at First Whiff is the idea behind smell dating.
Oh no!
That
dear.
is a New York matchmaking service that promises to help single people sniff out their perfect match by breathing in the odors from dirty T-shirts.
Oh, and no one is dating James Brown.
No, sir. Here are the creators. Artist Tiga Brain.
Tiga.
T-E-G-A Brain.
So
I don't even know
What
that's a little-
happened to Kristen or Lisa? You
I know.
those
Yeah,
easy
names. Yeah.
Tiga Brain teaches at New York School for Poetic Computation.
Oh God.
And Sam Levine is an editor and researcher at New York University. They created Smell Dating, which they describe as an art project. Each of its first 100 clients received a T-shirt to wear for 3 days straight without bathing. The clients then mail the T-shirts back to Brain and Levine's sweatshop at NYU, where they are cut into swatches. Smell Dating then sends batches of 10 mixed swatches back to Rofo and clients.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. And clients to sniff this week. A match will be made if one client likes the scent of another and the olfactory attraction is mutual. In other words, if client 55 likes client 69, hey. And vice versa, put a heart around it, Brain said.
Yeah, you
We'll
know
have
what?
to-
Tiga is an Australian name.
100%
Tiga.
chance those T-shirts end up in a vending machine in Japan.
Yeah, you can go on Craigslist and get other type of clothes. if
The
you want.
Easter tradition you've been waiting for. Warning, you probably shouldn't hire these guys for your family Easter brunch.
Yeah.
And by the way, happy Easter. It's going to be this weekend. Gone are days of cute baskets filled with chocolate eggs and yellow peeps. We're adults now, meaning every formerly innocent childhood tradition has been recreated through naughty eyes.
Oh.
And even the Easter Bunny can't be saved. This week, Hot Octopus, an award-winning sex toy brand, started a new Easter tradition guaranteed to make your neighbors very uncomfortable. Here it is.
Okay.
You can have the Pulse 2 Duo. That is the latest edition of the world's first vibrator, disguised as an innocent egg and delivered in person by the Hot Octopus Eater. I'm sorry.
What?
The Hot Octopus Easter Bunnies.
Oh, nice.
Well, I've seen a picture of one of these bunnies. I wouldn't call them adorable.
Really?
Yeah. It's if you're looking to. This is a quote from
This
the
thing
company.
looks dangerous.
If you're looking to really get the holiday weekend off to a bang, then forget these fake aphrodisiacs and get involved in the real deal, says Adam Lewis. I wonder if he's related to the guy that started the smell thing.
Could be.
The new bunnies on the block are laden with sweet treats and on a mission to add a spring and a hop into the sex lives of Americans. Happy Easter, everybody.
Wow. If one of those bunnies came to your front door, Mike, would you send them back to the hutch?
I'd jump up and stop the show. I'd say, stop tape. Gotta see my bunny. That's the way that works.
Hey, bunny, everybody.
Moving right along
online.
here.
What's that?
People actually review these things like they would on Amazon.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
I don't even want to start.
Bonus
Bring
show.
us the bunnies. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a little something, something. A former teacher in Virginia is accused of allowing students to smoke marijuana in a classroom. 23-year-old Dominic Anthony Liuzzi has been charged with 3 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Police investigated after they received information about pot smoking at the Academy at Virginia Randolph. That is an alternative school. You bet it is.
Yeah, it is.
In Virginia. Liuzzi is no longer employed with the school system and probably won't be teaching anytime soon, but I would say that he has a good chance of getting a podcast on the Realm Network. Thank you. All right, very good.
Oh, sorry about that. What I meant was that.
There you go. Thanks for all the help today. All right, we'll take a break. Jesus. We'll be right back with, let's see how I can screw up the audio vault right here on the Mike O'Mara Show. We'll be right back.
Do you love your iPhone? Do you love your iPad? Do you love your Android? Do you love your Nexus 7? Did you play Atari? Did you program the TRS-80?
Oh,
do you love
yeah.
technology? We all do. And
That's the best
more
part.
importantly, do you love entertainment?
Yes. And if you do all those and above, or whatever I'm trying to say, you should listen to Tech 411. Actually,
That's right, Tech
this is a good time to mention if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll kill it.
Todd's coming out with a new game.
Live
and
promo.
He's going to be advertising all next week. It's called XX1. It dropped early. It's on the iOS store and the Android store right now. So XX1, look it up. It's from TM Soft. He'll be advertising all next week, so check it out.
All right, give me an out cue.
That is Tech 411.
Thanks very much. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Brought to you by Amazon. Hey, are you a good TMOS listener or a bad TMOS listener? Are you a good TMOS listener or a bad TMOS listener? If you're a good TMOS listener, you've been shopping through our Amazon portal. That's good. You see, anytime you purchase something through our Amazon link, we get a tiny percentage. It doesn't cost you any extra, and it's the best and easiest way for you to support the show. Very, very good. Bad listeners don't shop at Amazon. They are usually rude, discourteous, and mistreat animals.
Boo.
That's bad. If they were good, they'd bookmark our Amazon link and use it like crazy. Remember, if you need it or want it, Amazon has it. Just go to MikeOMaraShow.com/Amazon or click the Amazon button on our website or use the TMOS app and click on the shopping cart. Then shop you damn it, I almost got through it. Then shop like you normally would. It's that simple, but it means the world to us. Thanks, friend. Thanks for being good. There we are. And now, without further ado, let's open up the audio vault for a Friday, March 20. Is this the 25th already?
I believe it is the 25th.
It's the 25th.
Wow, that's flying through the month.
One thing we didn't mention when we talked about Gary Shandling was his short-lived but sort of ahead of its time sitcom. Do you remember this one?
Yes, the Gary Shandling Show, the theme to Gary Shandling Show.
Where he would actually talk to the audience, and he would, what they call breaking the fourth wall. Another way that he was sort of ahead of his time and very funny.
It was not, to me, it was not one of my all-time favorites.
No, more gimmick than funny, I think.
Well, the thing about the Larry Sanders Show, the Larry Sanders Show was the vehicle for Gary Shandling because he was a sour kind of guy, and it played. I mean, he was playing to type. You can see him interviewed any time in, with TMZ where he's just,
there's no acting there.
Right, no
absolutely
acting
not.
Right.
As a matter of fact, they did a small tribute, sort of in passing and subtle, on Kimmel last night to the Gary Shandling Show. The Larry Sanders Show when he went to commercials the first time. It's good.
So we have music from Fifth Harmony. Peter Krause is here, and we'll be right back with Hillary Clinton. No flipping.
He said his catchphrase, no flipping. I thought that was nice and subtle.
He's legendary. I mean, he in the comedian circles, he is the guy.
What did he die of?
There was a massive heart attack.
Massive heart attack.
And as a matter of fact, I did not pull the tape, but the 911 call, he called his own 911 call and actually dropped off the phone before they could finish the call. He died essentially while on the phone with 911.
I pray that we don't have to hear that.
No, you won't.
Hope,
you won't.
Suppress that. You will. I bet you will. I swear to God, that's the way the world
Hey, Mike,
is
I
now.
found tape.
Play it right now.
Now, this is kind of neat. This is not actually Gary Shandling, but there are a few moments when showbiz changes someone's life and it's captured, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is Gary Shandling's intro to his first time on The Tonight Show, and he had that amazing moment after his gig where Johnny called him over to the couch, which could happen or could not happen. It was always sort of up in the air. But this is such classic Johnny, and we've heard intros like this before, but it's just a great crowd. This is an exciting moment.
Before you play it, let me just offer a little insight. The way comedians used to go on The Tonight Show, they would have their 5 to 10 minute set, and probably more like 5 minutes, a good 5 minutes that they would do, and then they would have to have 3 minutes or maybe even another 5 minutes ready just in case.
Right.
So anytime you would see a comedian go over to Johnny, they'd have the stuff ready, and they would all pray that they got called over. So, but the big guys like Gary Shandling, David Letterman, they were hits on The Tonight Show.
And it almost never happened on your first time. And this is a great intro, such classic Johnny.
This is a good night for a young comedian's first appearance on network television because the audience is in a good mood and things are really cooking. Gary is from Tucson, Arizona, appears regularly at the Comedy Store. Tucsoners. He appears at the Comedy Store in Hollywood and at the Comedy Magic Club in Hermosa Beach, California. As I said, this is his first time, so make him feel welcome. Would you welcome Gary Shandling?
Pretty cool, and you know that after
so
that
classy.
moment,
that's it,
moment,
and that doesn't exist that
so
much
cool.
anymore. Yeah, there are plenty of classy guys. I think Fallon has a lot of class. I think Kimmel's a good guy. Myers is a good guy. There are a lot of good guys. Nobody had that kind of
the way he even ramped up to introducing him.
Yeah, absolutely. Say, hey, I'm putting the audience in your corner because Johnny loved comedians.
He did.
He loved having comedians
That's
on the
cool.
show.
Now, the last thing I'll play, that was the very beginning of Shandling's career. His most recent project, and it'll probably be his final project, is in January. He appeared on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld. And it's a very, very entertaining episode, but weird to watch in retrospect, especially this moment when they talk about finding out the passing of Robin Williams. Gary Shandling passed at age 66.
Hey, Robin, rest in peace. I'm sure, like me, you were stunned. I don't know how you felt. I was sitting there watching CNN anyway, and they broke in and said Robin Williams killed himself. And I sat there and I was frozen. This is totally true. And I was in that kitchen of mine. Then Wolf Blitzer says, 63 is so young. I looked up with a little hope because I'm at the same age as Robin, right? And then I realized 63 is so young is a phrase you never hear relative to anything but death.
Right.
63 is so young to be playing in the NFL. You don't, there's nothing.
You have to die in your 60s for them to say, boy, he was young.
Anyway.
That's I'll tell you, it's tiny. It's a little bitty clip.
Yep.
You got a lot of observational brain power happening.
So smart.
Right there. Just very, very cool to think of that.
Well,
That's
safe home, Gary Shandling. I sort of started paying attention to comedy when he started to really hit it big. And I'm not grief poaching. I'm really sad that he's gone because he brought us a lot of laughs. So that's sad. Now,
and I'm not grief poaching. I will tell you that I, for one, if you can make your mark with one show like the Larry Sanders Show, right after that show was off the air, I wished that he gave us more.
Yeah.
And I will say that now. I wish that he did some more stuff.
Yeah.
It seemed like when he left, he left.
He left. He was done.
Right?
He was done. He's kind of like, and that's cool too, because how many people get to make a mark with a show like that? So
Exactly.
That's a good thing.
All right, let us move on, Mike. One of your favorite guys is singing again. They were doing a benefit for the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital, and Peyton Manning sang a song that I've heard you karaoke with singer Cole Swindell. I think you'll like this.
Well, I was drunk.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Got out of prison.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I went to pick her up in the rain.
Oh, what a great arrangement of.
Before I could get to the station in my pickup truck.
Great song.
She got run over by a damn old train.
And then Cole takes over, but I thought you would enjoy the fact that he
Who's
was
the country artist? I'm going to pick up
Swindell or Swindle.
Cole
And-
Swindell with the tribute to David Allan Coe, one of my favorite country songs of all time.
Now,
Absolutely.
I don't normally focus as much on country music, but I love what this guy says. This is a hot country act right now named Josh Grayson. He was a former Marine. Josh! And they asked him to comment on the fact that Justin Bieber is doing meet and greets because it's just too taxing on him.
Dick.
And they asked him what he thought about this, and I love what this guy says.
You can tell these guys have never really held a real job or been in the military. It's hilarious. I know I'm an artist myself, and usually I don't say this, but that's why you should never, take the word of a celebrity on anything, especially politics in the world.
So there you go. A guy who's out there getting it done.
I like that.
And let us close with Seth Meyers. Mike, true story. A woman sought out and married her sperm donor.
A formerly single mother in Australia has married the sperm donor that contributed to the conception of her child, which means in a few years that man can sit that kid down and say, son, I remember the night you were conceived. I was looking at a picture of Kate Upton.
That is your magic audio vault. Have a great weekend. Happy Easter, everybody.
That's it. Another Mike O'Mara show has come and gone. I want to take this moment to say thank you to everybody, including for all their support this week. It was not the easiest week to do shows, but you know what? Every time I came in here and turned the microphones on, it actually was therapeutic for me, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. We'll be back with another week of shows. I will be heading up to Boston at the end of next week for my mom's funeral, but we got shows for you all week next week, and we're excited about that again. My deep and sincere thanks to everybody who helped me out this week, and your comments online and personal messages that I got from everybody have made this something that I'll remember for a very, very long time. We got to get out of here, and have a happy Easter, everybody. Have a little bittersweet one here in the O'Mara household, but you know what? That's part of the circle of life, so we'll be back on Monday. For Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana, Mike O'Mara saying so long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
One last thing. Please remember that MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon is the best way to anything and everything. So, shop Amazon and get there through our website. Always open at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon. Now, go in peace. Mike O'Mara Radio Entertainment.